Hey guys, Brian here with Wolf's Prairie Outdoors. Today we're going to be installing the new Ranger Point handguard on our 336W. The difference between this and the 4570 version, linked right here, is the 4570 version had no barrel band. This obviously has a barrel band, so we're going to be able to show you both versions now. And this is a super simple, quick and easy process. All we have to do is remove the front sight, then the mag tube end cap, the two barrel bands, and the fore end, and then reinstall using the new barrel band adapter. Really nothing to it, so let's get started. First things first, I'm going to remove my front sight. This particular model only has a single screw on the front sight. Some have two screws. Any that have two screws, you might have to do some fiddling and move the actual front sight around in order to get to the second screw. Next up, we got to remove the magazine tube end cap, so I'll flip the rifle over. Now this is going to be under pressure from the spring inside, so do not let it fly out when you remove this. The screw is going all the way through this end cap. So when I pull this screw out, get it unthreaded all the way, the long thread's on there. Once I remove that, that spring is going to come out. Remove my mag cap, and there's my spring. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside, put my magazine end cap in my parts tray, wipe the oil off my hands, and now I'm gonna flip the rifle back over, and I'm going to remove the barrel bands. Very simple process. I've got my brass pointer / screwdriver here, and I will actually use that to push on the hole on this side, because there is some pressure on this screw. It just makes it a lot easier to remove. Now I will remove my second barrel band. And guys, as I've said before, get a good set of hollow ground screwdrivers. These are, well, usually I'm using Wheeler tips. This is actually the tip that came with my Fix-It Sticks torque driver, and it works extremely well for all of these. Okay, now that those are out, you can put some oil on here as you're doing this to protect your finish. Just a little drop of oil will definitely help. Now this barrel band on the fore end can be kind of tight, so get your persuader out and go to tapping. Just take it lightly back and forth until it will work its way off of there. Little here, little there. Don't try to take too much at once. If you try to cover too much ground at one time, you will end up really messing up your finish. Alrighty. Mine is loose. I will no longer need that, so I'm going to go ahead and put the screw for this back in here, and I will store this with the fore end. That way if I ever decide to switch it back, I'll have the option, but I'm probably not going to be switching back. So now I will take the gun up and just pry down. Fore end comes loose. Remember, there's a mag follower in here as well, so I'll pull that out, set it in my parts tray. Fore end is not going to be needed. I'll set that aside. Now we have the new barrel band adapter for the new Ranger Point handguard, and as you guys can see, it is a barrel band without the bottom piece. That's going to allow the mag tube to drop in there, because the mag tube has to go in with the handguard simultaneously. So I'm going to remove the screws that hold the handguard on and set these in my parts tray. FYI, these are a 3/32 Allen screw, and I've got that bit right here. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the cross screw in here as well. Again, it is a 3/32 Allen. Okay, now that the screw is out, I'm going to install the barrel band adapter on the rifle. You want to make sure you line up with this channel that is in the bottom of the barrel. That's where this screw actually passes through the barrel band adapter or barrel band and locks it onto the barrel so it won't slide around. You want to make sure you have the cap side or head side of the screw facing the right side of the gun. So if it's inverted like it is here, it's going to be facing you. Slide this down on, slide my screw through. And you want to keep it pushed to the front because when you shoot, recoil is going to push everything that way anyway. And I'm going to tighten that down pretty snug. You don't want to over tighten. You over tighten, you're going to strip it out, and that's never good. Okay, that's on there pretty solid. You can use some blue thread locker on all these screws if you want to make sure everything's locked down solid. But because I'm doing this series, I don't want to lock everything down yet because I may need to adjust something in the future or remove parts. If you're looking at the handguard, the end that is just plain metal is going to be the end that goes towards the front, obviously, and RP is going to go to the front. The end that has extra goodies on the back, your flange, is going to go towards the receiver, obviously. So I'm going to insert the mag tube into the handguard, sliding it back to where back of the tube extends past the handguard flange. Okay, I readjusted my setup because you weren't going to be able to see what I was doing really well with the Tipton gun vise. So I've got my Warhorse Development Cleed bag for precision shooting and my Caldwell bunny ear bag. So this way you get a little better view of what I'm doing. So now, as I said, I've got my mag tube inserted into my handguard. Now when I install the handguard on the rifle, the channel on top of the handguard that's going to be facing down is going to drop over the barrel band adapter. And as I drop that in, the mag tube will drop into that cradle and slide back and forth so that I can install it into the proper place in the receiver for the mag tube. As I do that, I'm going to slide this downward, get it in position. And now this is where you might have a little tight fit. This flange is going to have to drop into the recess where the wooden handguard was dropped in. And mine is a very, very close fit. I can just push it in there. As you push this in or persuade it in with a rubber mallet, you want to check your alignment with the screw holes up front, and that way you know if you've got to drive it in further or if it's not going far enough. If it's not going far enough, you need to contact Ranger Point and find out what's going on. Alright, I flipped it over and got it up where you guys can see it better, and I'm going to take the two mounting screws on the sides and reinstall those. Alrighty. Again, you could use blue Loctite on this if you want. Tighten that down and repeat the process on the other side. Alright, next thing we're going to do is drop our follower down the mag tube. Okay, next up, I'm going to install the other barrel band back onto the rifle. Make sure that your holes are properly aligned, which they should be because you've got your barrel band adapter screw in, so that should have everything aligned. Okay, now I'm going to slide the screw in. They can be a bear sometimes. Then I'll take my handy dandy screwdriver, tighten that bad boy up. Get it nice and snug, but don't strip it out. Okay, next I'm going to reinstall the magazine spring. And just reinstall your mag cap with the big hole to the bottom so that the screw can go in proper orientation. The threads are near the cap on this. Once you get that started, I find it's easier to lay it back down to tighten it up. You can get better pressure that way. Tighten that bad boy up. Again, don't strip it out. Alright, last thing is put our front sight back on. You want to be very careful with this. You've only got a couple of threads to work with. I put the screw in first and drop it down and let it kind of seat and feel where it goes. I'm going to reverse thread until I feel that thread catch, and when I do, I will tighten it up. You do not want to over torque this. You don't want to strip it out. Use some thread locker on it because if you strip this out, you're going to have to send it off to a gunsmith to get fixed. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really liking how this is coming out. I'm just super happy with it. I'm really loving the way it looks, and we're going to do a comparison coming up soon of the Midwest and the Ranger Point handguards because we had a lot of questions about that and the difference with these scallops in the handguard. Just a lot of questions coming up, so I'm going to address all those for you. I just want to get everything together and do it all in one video, make it a lot more concise for you guys. Check back soon. We're going to do sight install with a rear Picatinny rail with green fiber optics, do a dovetail filler, and a red fiber optic up front. Really going to give us a lot more versatility with the rifle because I can mount a red dot, low power variable optic, or I can just use the fiber optic sights if I want. They give a really nice sight picture. So I think we've got some good additions coming. Safety delete coming as well, and that'll about round it out for this rifle. I'm so close to chopping this barrel. I love the handling of my 1894 CST with a 16.5-inch barrel, and this being 20. If I just had it cut off a little bit, I think it'd be really nice, and then throw a suppressor on it. Yeah, it's tactical, but who cares? I think it'd be a lot of fun. I don't have a suppressor yet, but I'm really looking at a Silentico hybrid because then I could adapt it to all my different rifles and pistols. So it's a nice option, I think. But that's down the road. I got a lot going on. I'm thinking for the future. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you think I should chop the rifle down to 16.5 or if I should leave it the full 20. I'm torn. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I may end up Cerakoting it either way. And that's about it, guys. Hit that thumbs up for a like. Hit that subscribe button below and check back often. Have a good one.